Welcome to another Fireside Chat. Today we're talking about, what are we talking about?
Today we're talking about, can our society run smoothly without constant government oversight?
No way. We need government. They're amazing. They're so trustworthy. What would we do without them?
That's it. Be lost.
Yeah.
I think even not Biden, Obama at one point, in one of his speeches, was saying that people need to be governed. They cannot manage themselves. We need to tell you what to do, when to do, and how to do it. And people cheered him.
Yeah, I think that was probably fake.
Fake news?
No, well, people probably hide it. Yeah, like with AOC going to that high rollers or that function wearing the dress saying tax the rich. So, I think it was what was it 35,000 to get in or something, and I think a dress is worth a whole heap, and no normal person could afford to go in there. It's all rich people, and they're going, yeah, tax the rich. Doesn't apply to them. Those ones, why would you? There's no way you'd applaud or cheer, or they would have known what was coming, that she was doing that, and there's no way if something made my life harder, like for me to cheer, I'd have to be insane. Who would cheer for that? The whole thing is a scam. Absolute scam. So how could you trust? There's so many things you can go into, and we did, I think, mention this before. Actually, we did speak about this partly before, where the things we're told regarding smoking, how certain smokes are recommended by doctors, or ones the doctors use, and it's all twisting and manipulating words, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The guise of helping us. It's just my experience, or what I've seen. Governments will create the problems. They will obviously divide people, or create the problems, divide people, and then say it's the whatever person's fault, or whatever class, or whatever it is, and they say it's not equal. They'll blame one demographic people, or no, that's the right terminology, but one class, and blame one and say that one is against the other.
Yeah.
And then they have the solution. But it's not that hard to see, really, if you're willing to see. I feel.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah. And one of the things that's been going on in Australia, for example, with that Heffernan statement about the 28 prominent people in Australia that have been, it's a gag order that's been put on that document. It's a police document. Yeah, 28 top people in Australia have been named as pedophiles, and they have locked that document down for 90 years. It's probably 80 years now, because if that's released.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Oh, well, that's the thing. Sorry, I was to cut you off, but there was a government official trying to put this through the courts, and it just went to recess and never came back. And the judge, or one of the people involved, said, if we went any further, society would lose confidence in the whole process and government.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is the twisted government. It's like, well, they're better off not knowing, and they'll lose faith in us, and we can't show them, can't reveal the truth. They'll be so disappointed. It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. And one was a former prime minister as well.
Yeah, well, a few have been listed anyway, haven't they? So
I think whistleblowers come out and spoken some names anyway. But like what he was saying in this argument, he was saying that one of them was a top judge and he's ruling on cases that are in family court for for alleged pedophiles. One of the parents is hurting the child, and this judge, who is a pedophile himself, known pedophile to the police, gets to rule on these cases, and he's putting these children back with a parent who's hurting them.
Yeah.
And we're locking this paper up, saying no, we're not touching them.
I know. It's meant to be. It's meant to be like a protected list of pedophiles anyway. They say, So
yeah,
it's not a nice topic, but awareness is key. I'd rather be aware of what's going on to at least going forward, I can question what I'm told rather than believing it because I want to believe it. And I think this is we touched on this to some degree where it's easy to bury your head in the sand and have an idealistic view on the world, but that doesn't really get you anywhere. It just buries your head, and then ultimately people can screw you over because you think no, they wouldn't do that. Like in relationships, they go, oh yeah, no, I'll just pretend that they're a nice person, that this is okay, and it won't happen, and that doesn't change the person. So our not looking and not being aware doesn't change anyone around us. In actual fact, it just encourages the same sort of behavior, because if people can get away with stuff, people coming in and stealing your things from your home because you never lock the door, then the word would spread and everyone would be stealing things from your house until everything's gone. But as soon as, and this happens in my experience, where if you're centered and you're calm and you look different, like you perceive things different, and people get a sense that you can see into them, and then that holds them accountable. So when you're aware, the more aware we become, the less we have to say, and people get a sense of that. It's been said, as you grow, as you become more and more aware, you become more of a mirror. So just being around other people will potentially reflect on them or bring up certain things within themselves that they're not prepared to see, they don't want to see. So it's like, as long as they can get away with things, they will. And as soon as they get a sense of anyone looking in, it's amazing how subtle our awareness is.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know people that feel, we can walk in a room and feel something's not right. We can avoid certain places because we don't even know why, or certain situations, things come up all the time. It's absolutely amazing how sensitive we actually are, far more than we could imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So awareness is the greatest pathway through for anything, for growth. I just feel there's no point in burying your head in the sand ever.
I'm just wondering your perspective on would, if say we take away a lot of the rules, like for example, it's been proven time and time again that speed limits, for example, on the road, they're putting up so many speed signs now that is causing more accidents, and not because people are so busy looking at the speed dial, rather than going with the flow of traffic. So if we were to take all those away, for example, how do you think that would work, or would it have to be a gradual thing, do you think?
I think that people are like, conditioning is one thing, and people break through conditioning and habits. I think it'd probably be okay. Like, it's people are used to going slow. You'd have the people that think, oh, I'm going to do whatever I want now. But most people are cautious anyway. It's only when you're young and think you're invincible, ultimately, which those people tend to push the boundaries anyway. But I feel most people are on the conservative side when it comes to driving anyway. And it doesn't matter what you do. Some speed limits, some people aren't going to be the best drivers anyway. And I think it feels like it becomes more about money. Everything seems to be about money, revenue raising, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I don't think we need to be governed much at all. I think I like to go back to the old way.
Yeah.
And well, not that I know the old way, but more of a, I think, tribalist, where I love it to be like a culture where the elders have the say, and it's all about ultimate wisdom and understanding and ethics and integrity and honor, all those things.
Yep.
And
common sense.
Well, 100%. It's common sense. And
Yeah.
like I kept saying with the governments, the more they can trigger us, if I can trigger you, then I can eliminate any common sense in that period of time. And if I can get you blaming others for how you think and feel, then I've got you. Now I can control everything. So, like, we're all about empowerment and becoming responsible for your thoughts, feelings, actions, 100% responsible. And that's the only way you'll be free, the only way.
Yep.
And understanding and awareness, understanding. That is it. And that keeps expanding in any case. But that society is smart in how they try and control people. Ultimately, we just have to consider the possibilities. Like, if we're doing the same thing over and over and not happy, then something has to change.
Yeah.
And this isn't our environment. We have to change if we're suffering.
Yeah.
Like, from when I was younger to now, challenges have remained pretty much the same. They fluctuate up and down. But the only thing that's changed is my attitude and understanding. And if you blame another, nothing will change, because you're holding on to a view that binds you to an idea. And that idea, and to say, well, nothing will change until you change. Yeah, that is, to some degree, obviously, if things change around you, then, but you're not going to change everyone. There's always someone that's going to push your buttons. There's no doubt about that. So there is only one way forward, and that's through awareness and understanding. That is it.
Yeah.
And,
taking responsibility for yourself. I think we'd be so used to being looked over and micromanaged that people need to start trusting themselves and relying on themselves instead of other people telling them what to do.
Yeah, well, we're more micromanaged now than ever, and that's the thing with governments. I'm just not a big fan of governments at all. Like, I believe they're so corrupt. They appear so corrupt to me. I'm not a fan. And
really?
Yeah. Well, it's just, they make all the policies. They say, and they blame us for all the policies they make, like we're just absolutely ridiculous, like this ridiculous sheep that have no idea.
And also, the policies never apply to them either. It's just for the people.
Exactly. They have exceptions to all the rules.
Yeah.
And you look at them. There's like, I don't even like the way they're so condescending so often. And I like Ricardo Bossi. Me
too.
Yeah, he says exactly what he thinks and feels, and and tries to hold people accountable. So I think world needs more people like him, because it should be the same rules for everyone. Like, as soon as, and a lot of people do this to varying degrees. They'll say, well, this is how everything should be, but you've heard the saying, rules for me and not for thee. If you are the exception to the rules that other people must abide by, then you have no real understanding of the rules.
Yeah.
And this is, so if anyone thinks that they actually have insight and understanding, and they truly, that insight and understanding has sunk to their heart, then the same rules that apply to everyone else will apply to you, because it's a matter of honor, integrity. That's how it is.
Yeah.
And not as if you like, it's not as if I'm going to be. You want to save paying tax, and you want to save paying things where you can. It's not saying that you're going to be. You follow the law, but you're not going to be. If you don't have to pay something, you won't to the government. And it's not as if and somebody might say, oh, you're not paying this, you're not paying that. But if I'm going, no one else is paying, everyone should be paying this, but I shouldn't be paying that, and that's one thing. But it's like, well, if we all try and minimize tax and minimize everything, then why should I complain about someone else not having to pay tax, or it's too much tax and that sort of thing? So it still comes down to some of the laws, some of the rules I don't necessarily agree with the ATO and everything else.
Yep.
I'm not saying break the law, but bottom line is, if I feel that there's a loophole here I can use, why would I condemn someone else for using the same loophole? It should be the same rules across the board. It should be the same rules for everyone. That is how it is. And if someone else is doing the same thing that you are, living how you are, and they're doing the best they can, and they're trying to, life's full of grey areas to some degree when it comes to government, of what you can pay, what you don't have to pay, and certain businesses, as smart businessmen find more loopholes. But if someone that's doing what I'm doing, if that impacts me and I think is unfair, then I haven't truly seen deeply enough into myself. Yeah, it is absolutely the way that it has to sit comfortably with you, how you live and how everyone else lives. There cannot be any exceptions to what you get away with, to what they get anyone else gets away with, in a sense. And it's not about getting away with things; it's just how you live. It's just how you live that bit. And this is what and this is why I don't like the governments, because they are exceptions to all the rules. That it just doesn't apply to them. That they think they're an untouchable class, and they just think we're sheep and peasants. And
Yep.
I just don't like the whole attitude. How they speak down to us like we don't even have a brain. Like I've seen, even with COVID stuff, and it's like it feels like not that my parents like it, but it feels like a parent talking to a child that has no real understing.
But yet
It's
there's
so,
no accountability. Their
I
actions
know.
have no accountability.
That's what
None.
condescending is. If
Yeah.
to be condescending, then you think the rules don't apply to you. You think you're above the rules and above the people you're speaking to.
Yep.
And I just don't like their condescending tones at all. Like I have no time for them. I don't even like hearing their voice. To be honest, I don't like hearing them speak.
Yeah.
The whole energy in my, like I do energy stuff, whole energy I feel coming from them is just contempt. It's just disgusting. It's just my feeling.
So you're not an aspiring politician, Shane?
Well, there's you're like their bossy. I like him. So not so there's not good politicians out there.
Yeah.
But definitely, definitely. Yeah, to get in there, I think to get in there and not be corrupt. I didn't think that was possible. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think in many ways you can say, sum up all the laws and that sort of thing into one, and just basically saying that as long as you don't do harm onto others or other people's property, then you just go about living your life.
Yeah, but there's a trap here that people can't do that as long as they're suffering within, as long as they feel like they're inadequate. So if you feel like life owes you, someone can have the same stuff as you almost, and you still think it's not fair.
Yep.
It's amazing how it is. So that victim space is a tough space to break free from. That's for sure. And it doesn't matter how life is. It can be actually it can be fair. Like let's say, you have the same furniture, everything's identical. If you're in victim space, you still find a reason why things aren't fair. It's like wherever you go, whatever place you go into, like if you're angry all the time and everywhere you go, you'll meet people that make you angry, and you go, it's your fault, it's this person's fault, and it's not fair. And we all have pretty amazing psychic ability, I believe, and we can see what we're truly seeking, and we can definitely see things that trigger us. And even without awareness, it's like, everything gets under my skin. Things are so unfair. And then you repeat that mantra, and where you focus is what you're worshipping. So whatever that may be, you develop an astute eye to be able to react to certain things, to pretty much anything that you choose to react to. And people might think, I don't choose to react to it. Well, that's what you're focusing all the time, and you're repeating that mantra within your mind. Then you are enhancing your ability to be triggered in any specific area, whether it's anger or whether it's certain emotional turmoil, or we're upset, or you're avoiding stuff. I remember speaking to a psych years ago, and I said, it appears to me, we're talking about phobias, and I said to him, it appears to me that you might be scared of a spider initially, and then you start seeing things in the corner of your eye, and you start being triggered at thinking it's a spider, and then that keeps expanding more and more to a point where you don't even have to see a spider or the potential of a spider. You start triggering, so the mind keeps magnifying the phobia, and it's amazing. I said, so I said to him, this is my interpretation of how things actually are, and how the mind just goes out of control if you don't manage it. He agreed. In hypnosis, what you tend to do with phobias generally is, someone's afraid of flying. You have to unravel this potential that over a period of time gets out of control, where anything remotely to do with flying or spiders or whatever the case may be will just create a reaction within the body. So what you do is ultimately, like, let's say you want to go on a holiday, or go to some sort of destination where you're going to have fun on a tropical island or somewhere, and you'll say, okay, how is it at the island? and like, what do you see on this island? And you go, wow. So you just giving them something to focus. It's like the trip's already happened, the flight's already been, and you're on this island. Oh, tell me how you feel. You're laying on the hammock, and then you talk it back, and then you'll, over a period, you'll go, okay. When they're enjoying the experience and getting lost in being there, then the trip's already happened, and then you unravel and go, okay, you've just you're walking down the steps from the plane, or you're walking here, and you feel the fresh air. How's it feel? And then so the trip's already happened, rather than the fear of what happens before you arrive, the fear of the whole thing and not going to make it, to having already made it. And so it's amazing how you unravel the mind and slowly pull apart in reverse the fears that's going on with the whole phobia. So but without awareness, like fearing a spider or fearing something, in the end you sort of lock yourself in the house, or you sleep with the light on, or you in the end, it's just you become afraid of almost everything.
Yeah.
So this is the entrapment. This is where I don't agree with the government at all, because everything they do is breaking down the mind in fear. Like, everything they tell us is fearing this is going to be, like, you hear it every day. I'm overhearing about all the negative things, or the fear, or the turmoil, or and they don't talk about the results of. They're smart. It's like hypnosis. They don't talk about. They might talk about certain deaths or certain things when it suits them, but then they talk about cases, and they won't even talk about death, and then the potential in the case is like, oh, so then it's the fear of the unknown, the fear of going forward.
To me, it's a classic case of gaslighting. It's like a bad relationship. One person is constantly telling them, no, you're crazy, you're nuts, this is how it is, and you have no idea what it is, so you need to listen to me.
Well, it's like in a relationship. If you meet someone in a relationship, or you meet someone that you like, potentially, part of the reason why a few things line up and you really, really like the person and you're attracted to them, mystery is magnetic, like it really sells. So where mystery comes in, all the gaps that you're filling where it comes to mystery, if you don't quite know someone, is exactly how you'd want them to be. Like, you can really impact. So you can really, so if you meet someone and you're really drawn to them, it's easy to fill in all the gaps, all the things you're not sure with your fantasy world, basically. And then the potential, and you want to meet them because you're lost in your own thoughts, your own fantasy, and that's sort of normal. But so it's like potentially a form of hypnosis or so. And with the media, like the way they trigger you, they already set that they create the fear, they create all this sort of stuff, and then they keep stoking that fire. So where it comes to the mystery, or the fantasy realm or fantasy world of an idea of something, they replace the fantasy with fear, absolute fear. And fear is, I've told people before, fear is magnetic. It's not balanced. Where, if you've got two options, 50-50, most often the psyche will go to the fear. It's like, oh no, like or dread, fear of failure, whatever it is. And that's really hard to break through. It can be. Society is just setting you up to have that. Everything's open-ended. So if you're fearing, if they can trigger you by talking about things every day, and it's open-ended, they can just point you in that direction, and you'll go the rest of the way yourself. And that's why I'm not big on governments at all. Like, it's pretty clear what they try and do, in my books anyway. So they're not stupid. The people controlling the powers that be, so to speak, that hopefully they're going to be brought down soon, are that they may not have any ethics whatsoever, but they're not stupid.
I say that all the time. The way they avoid questions, direct questions, they will never, ever, ever give you a direct answer.
It's so arrogant in how they speak. Just like, how could I have faith in these people or have any sense of anything? Like, I don't listen to anyone that doesn't abide by the same rules as me, or that they think that they're above anyone else. No one's above anyone. In deeds, obviously, there's certain deeds that are above others, of course. But as soon as anyone thinks that they're superior to myself, then it doesn't matter who it is, then I have no time for them whatsoever.
Same.
No time. It's like I don't even reach out psychically thinking, I hope they see me, I hope they recognise me. It's like, you're just trash.
Not worthy.
Yeah, exactly. You don't deserve my time. And
No.
not saying that I'm the be all and end all either. It's just saying, well, I'm a divine being, as we all are, and if you can't see that, then I'm not going to waste my time with you, and that's it. And that not everyone does see that in themselves, but you have to have integrity when you meet people. You can't prejudge someone, and just because someone can't see themselves doesn't mean you can't see them, but you have to treat someone on their merits, on how they are in every moment. You cannot hope for the best, and if then, and evidence that they can't see themselves is how they are within themselves in any given moment, and that can change obviously if they can have an awakening experience to some degree. But when they're bogged down in that moment, they can't see themselves, certainly when they're bogged down in a lot of stuff. So it's not to say condemn someone the whole time that they can't look into themselves. It's just saying that the more they fall into themselves in negativity and suffering, the deeper they're in, or the further away from their true selves they actually are. And it doesn't mean I feel, necessarily judge them at all times. When someone starts seeing themselves more so and having more integrity, then you act on that and you encourage that aspect in them. But that's still not in my view, it's not by always taking it for granted that's the way they're going to be now, because people's the journey swings. Obviously, when you're on the spiritual journey, as you know, as we all know.
Yeah.
And the challenges and the dark times is when we come out of those times, and if we've actually reflected on ourselves and had a look, but we grow, and that's when things fall away. It's through the challenging times that there's opportunities for growth more than ever.
Yeah.
So I just feel you treat people on the merits for how they are in any given moment, without trying to forecast or predict too much how they are all the time, because life will swings and roundabouts, isn't it, all the time?
Definitely.
But yeah, I just feel, the politicians more than ever since this whole pandemic, they just speak down, like they're just so arrogant, so condescending. To give these people, I feel, to give them credibility or the time, your time in a sense, if they treat you down like that, it's like not even valuing who you are. We can't allow anyone to speak like they do to us. Like, I'm not saying they all do all the time, but I just see in general. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So forget seeing what you want to see what's in front of you, and even then question what you see and feel.
Definitely.
Because it's normal, I feel, to want to see the best in others, and it's hard when you start seeing that people aren't how you'd like them to be, or don't have integrity. It's easy to fall into cynicism to some degree, but if people aren't doing the right thing ultimately, and if they don't have integrity, that just shows that they're lacking themselves and they don't understand their heart anyway, and therefore not others really either. But not to say that certain politicians haven't sold their soul to the devil anyway. So, I think some of these people are too far gone. They can't come back this lifetime.
No. Question it. Question them.
Yeah. It's we all have the capacity, like more than we know. Like some people like to follow, some like to lead, but we all like to take the reins at some point. And some people may not be game to, but everyone has the capacity, I believe, to survive and to drive for a while. Take the reins for a while, and that's empowering anyway. It's trusting in yourself, and we all have to take the opportunity. The safe way in trusting the government and just going along and hoping that they do the right thing, like that's disempowerment. We have to. We all want to be empowered. We all need to be. True joy and happiness is by learning that we can take control of ourselves. We do have that capacity, and it's just misunderstanding is the only reason we don't. And we can't believe and fall victim to our past, where the ideas are that we're not enough, or there's something lacking, there's something missing, we're not good enough. That is not true. It's only certain people may not have the skills at this point, or they might not have the confidence or the skills, in a sense, or the experience to be able to get in touch with themselves or to lead or to have. It's hard initially if you've been broken down from a young age
Mm-hmm.
and you haven't had the chance to live free in a way, and you've been controlled. A lot of people have been controlled, but everyone's capable, and through support and some means or another, we must try and challenge ourselves to see if we can walk alone, see if we can walk and discover and become more empowered ultimately.
Get in touch with truth again.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's the thing. It's what is truth, because but like truth in itself that's a big one. That's a hard one to really get your head around. Truth. What is truth? Because that'll change as your mind opens, and that truth is just about unraveling, and it's a scary thing. When you look at the politicians and everything that's going on, and the potential truth in everything, most people don't really know. Like this, the whole idea is not really nice, isn't it? We just want to be idealistic. We just want to think, wow, it's hard to imagine the world we actually live in. It's hard to comprehend.
I
So
think a
it's
good guide is also, if someone's lied to you again and again and again and again, then chances are pretty high that they're lying again.
yeah. Well,
So,
I feel we have to. That's the thing. We have to try and trust our intuition,
mm,
and this is the other entrapment. Try and trust your intuition, but then not let the fear take that intuition and run right with it. You have to use your intuition that something's not right, and not fall into the whole magnification of everything is wrong. But you've got to just tread warily and at least look at where you're walking, so to speak, as opposed to not taking a step at all, or going in the wrong direction because of fear. You have to. It really is it's not easy. Is it? That's for sure. Like,
it's
it seems
tricky.
pretty scary. And where do you go? Where do you go if you're trying to embark on a new journey and you don't
Mm,
quite know which
Well,
way is the way that serves the most? And that's self-serving. To me, that's serving the true self, not the the um the other way. Sorry, cut you off.
no, I was just going to say something about maybe even if you're not sure, but you feel that something is not right, maybe look to someone else for guidance, just to help clarify certain points, to give you a different perspective, a different point of view, to maybe open up the possibilities of what is a lie and what is the truth, and keep an open mind.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I think that's the way to do it. But if you're talking to a friend that's triggered easily, then
mm,
they're going to fall into the fear and tell you something, and they'll validate something that's not necessarily true. So it's a tough one. You have to, the ultimate person you want to speak to is someone that's calm, that
mm,
was centered, patient, and understanding. And
yeah.
there are people like that around. There's not a whole heap of them, because most people get triggered by hearing a certain situation if it relates to the past grievances or things like that. I just feel, in my experience, what I did when I was growing up, I didn't know where to turn at times. It wasn't until later years that I had people that could really offer deep guidance.
Mhm.
But I always said within myself, it's like an inner prayer to show me the truth or show me the way. I just feel the divine always hears your prayers, your inner prayers.
Yeah.
And if you say it just softly within yourself, just show me, please show me, please show
Mm,
me, or ask for help. I think they can't be understated.
yeah.
And in that in itself, it opens up another, it could sound scary almost, another realm within it. It opens up your intuitive aspect, and it opens up that possibilities within. And I'm not saying possibilities for to be taken over or anything like that, because
Mm,
surrendering can seem very scary, and you encroaching on new possibilities or a broader way to live, and the fear can easily tap in and go, oh, who knows what can happen here? It's scary.
mhm.
and especially from a religious background at times, because the idea is, to some degree, it can be just don't look in certain areas because you can be, it's possessed or something can happen, or you have no real control. But I truly feel when you speak within your heart of show me the truth or show me the way or please help me, then you're protected in those moments. Even if you feel vulnerable, I
Yeah.
feel you're protected because in my experience, and that's all I can really speak from, I was heard every time. And I've mentioned before when I've been gone through suffering and within me just thinking, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And then always, like at times when needed, I heard a voice saying, just hang in there, just hang in there.
Mm-hmm.
And just feeling the support would give me the strength to carry through where sometimes you just want to run.
Yeah.
So it's just being open to the possibilities of more and not believing everything that's in front of your eyes just because you want to or because
Mm-hmm.
you're fearing, what if this isn't the way? Then the world's gone to hell. Well, if you're idealistic and you're not questioning things, there's more chance of the world going to hell from that point of view anyway, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just think we have to learn to trust ourselves, try not to be triggered so much. And if someone talks down to you, like we're adults and we should be adults, don't let anyone treat it like a child.
Yeah.
If someone talks down to you, no one should cop that. And
Mm.
don't value what someone says. If they can't see you, and like I'm talking about politicians here again, if politicians can't see you, and they speak to the public in general, so they're speaking to us as like we're the masses. And if they speak to the masses like we're school children and like we have no idea and treating us like sheep,
Mm-hmm.
then they're not valuing us. And if they don't value us, if no one values me, I'm not going to value what they say. It's plain and simple.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that and people probably become desensitized to it, but the way they speak to us, it's just that is very clear how they see us
Yep.
in my books.
Yep.
And they may be pushing a view, pushing an agenda, but rather than using, reasoning with us, they just speak down to us.
Yep.
And that's why I have no time for a lot of these politicians, because if they're not soft with themselves, if they can't reason, if they can't communicate as equals, I don't care what position anyone's in, they can't communicate as equals.
No.
And even within families, true loving families treat everyone and nurture everyone and see everyone, they value everyone within that family. That's
Mm-hmm.
how it should be. And I don't care if you're prime minister, president, whoever it is, if they don't see themselves in others, or if they don't see others in themselves, or cannot see and value anyone, then why would you value their opinion? It just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense at all to me.
Yeah.
Anyone that values me, I will consider what they say,
Yeah.
because I'll think, and even if I don't value myself, if someone, and this is when I had a guru in the past, they valued me absolutely, and even when I didn't value myself, so everything I was told, I actually considered and tried to look deeply into what I was told, because I thought they were seeing something that I can't see at this point, and I want to see how they see. Rather, like I don't want to see how the politicians see. Like that's a dark world. That is.
Mm. Yeah. Yuck.
So, but anyone that has clarity, that's how I want to see. And bodies love, they're the people that inspire me. And I'll consider everything they say
Mm-hmm.
because they're coming from a place of love. So, and that's the opposite to these politicians and a lot of these so-called leaders.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't learn love from them. You'll just learn certain castes of
Distrust.
people. Yeah, and you learn that everything. I think a lot of people, if you ask who they are, they'll just say what they do and what they've accomplished.
Yeah.
And that's not who they are. That's just what they do. It's
Sure.
because if people associate worth with everything that they've accomplished and their positions over others, it's a sense of worth.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that at all. Thanks for listening in to another episode of Awakenings Fireside Chat. Feel free to comment on your ideas or your beliefs on the governments. Are they good or not? Do we need them? And we look forward to the next one. Take care.